This is a rather unusual video, so let me tell you the purpose of it right out of the gate. This is an ask from a former sales rep. The Archbishop Perez has given me and all the parishes and pastors of Philadelphia an assignment that's supposed to be completed by by the middle of November. And it is this idea of setting a couple of parish priorities and putting some very specific goals in place. What I'd like to do is I'd like to give you some background about that. I'd like to tell you a little bit about what I'm offering, and then I'd also like to tell you what the commitment would be on your part. And then in the end, I'm going to ask you for some kind of a response. It could be yes, it could be no. But let me move on to the next part, and we'll kind of go from there. As part of the larger worldwide listening session that was called by Pope Francis, Archbishop Perez has decided in Philadelphia to use a process called Called for More. Called for More is looking for the renewal and revival of two major areas. One of them is the renewal and revival of the parishes, and the second is the renewal and the revival of priests. In that regard, what he has done is he has asked Catholic Leadership Institute to spearhead this process, put some tools in place, and help us run the process. In order to do that, what he wants to do is he has called every single parish by the Feast of Christ the King, which is November 20th, to present to him three large parish priorities. And for every parish priority, he would like two goals. What I'll do is I'll attach a PowerPoint presentation about what the difference is between priorities which are big bucket items, and goals, which are a little more specific. But he wants to do that. And we've already started this process. In April, we received the results of the Disciple Maker Index. In June and July and through August, what we did was we had a number of listening sessions. We've gathered the information. I will also link the information from those sessions to this video. And what I want to do is I want to now gab a group together to kind of look at that and actually tease out the three priorities and the six goals. But I'm not looking for more than just one or two meetings. I'm looking for a commitment. And the commitment is substantial. It's about a 2-year commitment, maybe even more. And let me outline you a little bit about the process that I'm thinking about doing to accomplish this, and what I'm offering, and then also what I'm asking. Okay, what I'm offering. I'm offering monthly prayer as a community, to get a group of people together to pray as a group, as more than just a team, but as a group of committed followers of Christ. I'm asking, maybe what we do is we get together just like we get together on the weekends around the table of the Lamb. Let's get together around the human table as well. And every time we get together, I like to share a meal and break some bread. I would be willing to offer a monthly lesson on catechesis, on liturgy, on spirituality, on prayer, etc., etc. I've already put together a listing of topics that I would share with you. They can certainly be changed according to the wishes of the group. I'm offering a fellowship. I'm looking for a group of people to get together, and in the midst of doing something really significant, looking for that community and connection to occur. Looking for to do what is called the Spiritual Gifts Inventory and Called and Gifted, which was an instrument that was developed by Catherine of Siena Institute, and we've done it here before. I would like everybody in the group to know what their charisms are, what their really truly anointed talents are, and help us as a group to kind of discern that as we move through figuring out what the charisms and talents of the parish are. In the second year, I would like to do something called Ananias training, because what I want to do is I would ask everybody in the group during this process to be looking for somebody to accompany, somebody to whom they can be a disciple. And to do that, it requires a certain skill set. And that's what Ananias training is. So in the first year, we would do the Spiritual Gifts Inventory and Called and Gifted. The second year, I'd like to do the Ananias training, which helps them with this idea of putting together a framework on how you can walk with and accompany somebody on their journey. Third, I'm not quite sure. We'll see after the first 2 years where the Holy Spirit leads us, and we'll kind of determine what we need and what the Spirit is asking us to do. With that, that's what's offered. Let me tell you what I'm asking for in terms of a commitment. Okay, in terms of the commitment, this is what I'm asking for. I'm looking for a commitment for about 2 to 3 years. I'm looking and asking you to engage in daily prayer, weekly mass, monthly confession. If you do this, there's going to be challenges. There's going to be spiritual attacks of the powers of darkness that do not want you to do that. So a monthly confession is going to be a kind of a protective framework around which is going to be necessary to continue this process. I'm looking to meet monthly. I know that's probably unrealistic to meet 12 times a year. So I say, well, let's set the goal out. But if we can get to 9 times over the course of the year, I think that's a good target. I want you to recognize, if you say yes to this, that this is going to be challenging and there is going to be difficult, and there are going to be both human challenges as well as spiritual challenges to this, and you need to know that going in. You also have to understand that in this process that it's going to get messy. It's going to get gray and cloudy sometimes, and I want you to know that going in. Um, I want you to not only come up with the goals and the priorities. I want you to lead in the implementation. Gather some other people around you to specifically target those goals and be the people who actually manage that process moving forward. And as I said in my previous slide, I'd like you to consider accompanying one person on their own faith journey and walking as a disciple with that particular person's life. And with that, let me just tell you a little bit about the timeline and talk a little bit about some aspects about that particular schedule. Okay, the timeline is here. Bishop Perez has asked that we put those 3 priorities and the 6 goals on his desk by the Feast of Christ the King, which is November 20th. Here's the problem. Catholic leadership, which is managing this whole process, has not really told us what he would like to do between now and then to be able to do these listening sessions and how he would like to have those priorities and SMART goals formulated. So that means that that's a pretty aggressive goal. We're now in September. You're looking September, October, 2.5 months, and we haven't gotten any information. But you know me. There are people that make things happen. There are people that watch things happen, and there are people that wonder what just happened. All right, I'm the person in the first category. So I want to get this process started. I anticipated that either the date is going to slip, and he's going to push it back further. If he doesn't, I don't think parishes will be prepared, or the information he's going to get is really not going to be of high quality. But at least in the meantime, we've already done a couple of listening sessions. We've already looked at the DMI. We've already gathered some information. So let's use that and start the process. If for no other reason, just to get the team together and start building up some fellowship and connections and community together, that will not be time wasted. So anyway, so that's the timeline. And with that, let me talk a little bit just in general about this whole process and what I'm looking for. Okay. By the time you get this video, I'm going to ask for a commitment about a week later. Right now, I'm shooting for September 9, and you certainly can say no. Some of you have children. That means schools. That means sports. That means activities. That's really busy schedules. So some of you are in very high pressure or very active business ventures. And I understand that kind of a commitment might not just be feasible at this point in time. Some of you might be in a place in your life where it's just not feasible. That's perfectly fine. You have permission to say no. But prayerfully consider it. Talk to your spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend. Talk to somebody else about that. Put this forward and say, hey, what do you think? Do you think this is something that I should do? Or is this something that I should be engaged in? And I certainly hope that is the case, because I think the journey will be a very fruitful one and will be a very exciting one. So give it some thought. Call me if you want, email me if you want, and let me know what you're thinking. If you'd like to get together and discuss it further, I'm certainly open to do that. In the meantime, thank you for everything that you are already doing for the great parish of St. Monica. I'm very blessed to have you as part of my congregation, and I look to hearing from you and talking to you again soon. God bless.